We all know how insane mornings can be, whether you're trying to get up really early for work, whether you're trying to squeeze in a workout, or for those of you with kids, desperately trying to get them out the door to go to school. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But what is important is that you start off your day right with a homemade meal. And that is what we're covering in today's video. I'm gonna be sharing 3 of my favorite high protein, savory breakfast ideas that just happen to be vegan. They're all super, super delicious, customizable, and really great for meal prep, so you can enjoy them on the day or throughout the week. We're starting off really strong with my Harissa tomato breakfast bake, which has over 30 grams of protein per serving. It's loaded with goodness from leeks to beans, mushrooms to tofu. First up, you want to slice your leeks, which are such an underused vegetable in cooking, I feel. Now make sure to wash them thoroughly because leeks tend to store a lot of grit and dirt between the layers. If you don't like leeks or you've not got leeks, then feel free to use white onions or shallots. They're just as good. To add umami to the dish, we're using gorgeous chestnut mushrooms. Now, if you can get a variety of mushrooms, that would be ideal because the more plant diversity you can get into this dish, the better it is for your gut microbiome. So a lot of supermarkets sell packets of mixed mushrooms, and I just go for that if you're trying to boost your gut health. Next up, you want to get an oven-proof pan on the heat and drizzle in some olive oil. Add in your leeks and mushrooms and just let them fry for 5 to 10 minutes until softened. Now's probably a good time to preheat your oven to around 210 degrees or 410 Fahrenheit. Meanwhile, you want to make your high protein sauce. Grab your silken tofu and add it to a blender with harissa paste. This is a North African chili paste, which is absolutely delicious. It's smoky, slightly spicy. Obviously, it depends on the type of harissa you're buying. For example, if you're getting it from a Mediterranean shop, the harissa that you tend to buy there that's more originates from Tunisia is really, really strong. Whereas if you get something like Balazu roast harissa paste, it tends to be a lot milder. If you don't have harissa paste or you can't find it, then just sub it out for 2 teaspoons of paprika with a tablespoon of tomato paste. Or if you just don't like spice at all, then just leave it out completely. We're also adding in a squeeze of lemon just to kind of balance out the flavors and bring a bit of acidity to the dish. You should end up with a gorgeously red, smooth, silky sauce just like this. Okay, back to our leeks and mushrooms. Add in some garlic, followed by your butter beans. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you know that I am obsessed with the Bold Bean Company. They produce the most incredible beans. They're the juiciest, chunkiest, most nutritious beans that I have personally found, and I highly, highly recommend them. If you can't find them, then any kind of jarred bean where you can see the juices would be amazing. Otherwise, Suma do really good beans in a tin, and so do Biona. That would be my recommendation. Follow up by adding in your tofu harissa sauce, then season with salt and pepper. Now time to add in your spinach for a dose of iron amongst a load of other fantastic nutrients. Just let that wilt in the pan while you're slicing up your tomatoes. You'll need more or less depending on the size of your dish, but I used about 5. I basically found these really large plum tomatoes and they were so flavorful. Try and go for organic tomatoes if you can, but if you can't, then just try and find the ones that you love and have a really good flavor. Give your breakfast bake a little bit of a stir and then taste it, and then season it with salt, more harissa, more pepper, a little bit of sugar if you fancy it a bit sweeter, just according to your preference. Top the bake with your tomatoes. I've kind of done it in like a little circular overlapping situation, but if you're using a square or a rectangular tin, then you can just do it in a line base and just overlap them that way, or you can just play around, do it however you fancy. Once I place them on, I sprinkle with a little bit of salt and pepper. You could also sprinkle with some like dried parsley and a little bit of olive oil as well. Place it in the oven for 20 minutes, and then this is totally optional, but I place it under the grill for 5 minutes just so that everything gets really bubbly and the tomatoes begin to caramelize, and it just looks beautiful. Once everything's ready, take it out of the oven, and then once again, this is also optional. I was kind of doing it just to make it look really pretty. I've made like a parsley and olive oil mixture that I've then kind of topped on top of the tomato mixture. I've also then combined harissa paste with a bit of olive oil and then topped that on top as well. And then feel free to serve it with toast or just eat it as it is. And you guys, it is so, so delicious. I really can't wait to see what you think about it. Okay, next on our high protein vegan savory breakfast list is this wickedly good scrambled tofu and mashed pea sandwich. I can't quite explain it, but the flavors in this are so, so unbelievably delicious. It's got over 20 grams of protein per sandwich, which is so great for a breakfast. And although I've used whole wheat bread here, you can also do homemade bagels using just 2 ingredients, whole wheat flour and yogurt. I will put the recipe link to my website in the description below. So go check that out if you'd rather use a kind of completely unprocessed recipe. But anyway, so you want to start by getting some extra firm tofu. I use tofu. but any extra firm tofu would be great. And then you want to grate it so you've got lots of little pieces. Transfer it into a pan on to medium heat and drizzle it with oil. Add in turmeric and cumin for flavor, but also because they're anti-inflammatory and antioxidants. So they're just really, really great for you, once again, your gut and to start off your day right. Fry that off for like 5 to 10 minutes and then you want to make your pea mash. So this pea mash is kind of like as a substitute mashed avocado because mashed avocado goes off really quickly and it is considerably more expensive. So peas are a great kind of cheaper, nutrient dense option. Get some defrosted peas and then mash them with the back of a fork. You can also use a food processor if you like. Squeeze in half a lemon, 1 tablespoon of tahini, coriander or parsley, definitely fresh, not dried on this one, salt, pepper and olive oil. Give it a good mix and then you can always taste it, season it how you like, and then that's ready to go. Okay, so once your tofu's ready, transfer it into a bowl and then add a tablespoon of plant-based yogurt into the mixture. I love using unsweetened soy yogurt, but coconut yogurt would also work too, but that would definitely provide more of a coconutty flavor, which would still go because we're using tahini and that would all go well together. But yeah, I love using an unsweetened soy yogurt. I think that works quite well. Okay, so now it's time to assemble our sandwich. Now, as I said earlier, you can either use my homemade bagel, 2-ingredient bagel recipe, or you can use kind of like a whole wheat bread. I definitely recommend either going to a bakery or basically look at the back of the packet of bread and trying to find the ones that have the lowest number of ingredients and it's like full of nuts and seeds and is multigrain and stuff like that. Has a high fiber content. I'm using avocado mayo for the base, then top with the scrambled tofu, the mashed peas and micro leaves, which I just think are so fun. They add a little bit of crunch, a little bit of something different, but you could also use lettuce, rocket, arugula, or any kind of leafy greens that you fancy. Press that all down, and then I love to wrap my sandwiches in parchment paper so that it holds everything together really well. It's such a fun trick. You basically bring the 2 sides of the paper up to the middle and fold them down until you reach the sandwich. Then you tuck either side in underneath the sandwich, and it kind of becomes this like self-sufficient sandwich picnic holder situation. And you can store that in the fridge for up to 2 days and then slice down the middle and then look at that cross section. What a beautiful, beautiful breakfast sandwich. Now what's great about this recipe is that you can prep the tofu scramble and prep the pea mash, keep them in separate Tupperwares in the fridge for up to 4 days, and then when you want to make your sandwich, you can make it there and then in the morning. It will take you like 5 minutes. Whereas if you make the sandwiches all before, then the bread might go soggy, so I definitely wouldn't recommend that. Definitely make the sandwiches on the day. Something else is I love toasting my bread a little bit, just because it kind of firms everything up, but that's totally optional. You don't have to do that. Okie dokie, recipe number 3, my black bean and sweet potato breakfast burritos. Has over 35 grams of protein in it. And as I've said, all of these recipes are really great for meal prep, but this one is especially good, made in advance and then frozen in the tin foil. And then all you have to do is you can either take them out the night before and let them defrost or thaw in the fridge overnight and then heat them up, or you can take them straight from the freezer, pop them in the air fryer or the oven, cook them until they're piping hot and delicious. Okay, so first up we're slicing our sweet potato into cubes. I never take the skin off because I just feel like you're then missing out on a load of nutrients. Completely up to you. You can either peel the sweet potatoes or you can leave the skins on, whatever floats your boat. Add them to a pan with olive oil and garlic and then pour over a few tablespoons of boiling water so that they cook quickly. Meanwhile, slice up your red onion, add to a bowl with red wine vinegar and sugar. This will give us a lovely, tangy, kind of pickled red onion situation, which will balance out the savouriness from the rest of the wrap, which I personally love. This is optional, but I just think it adds a really nice like tang to the dish. Once the water has evaporated from the sweet potato, add in the black beans, followed by the cumin, paprika, and fresh coriander or parsley. Give that all a stir and then add in your passata. Or you can use a handful of fresh tomatoes, completely up to you, or salsa, or chopped tomatoes, like tin chopped tomatoes, whatever you kind of have on hand and is easiest to use. Next up, you want to chop up your pepper, which is actually just as high in vitamin C as an orange. Transfer that into your sweet potato mixture and then feel free to turn off the heat while you cut the stems out of the kale. You don't have to do this, but I definitely find the stems quite difficult to chew, so I would personally recommend doing it. Give the kale a good massage. This breaks down all of the tissues and softens everything, and then combine that with some lemon juice, and then that is ready to go. Okay, now time for a little bit of construction. Grab your tortilla wraps. I like to heat mine in the microwave for 20 seconds just so they soften a bit. So you want to top the wrap with the sweet potato mixture, sliced avocado, kale, pickled red onion, and then wrap it up as tightly as you can. I like to wrap mine in kitchen foil, which you can either store in the fridge for up to 3 days, or as I said earlier, place in the freezer for up to 3 months. And it just gives you a really speedy breakfast in like 3 minutes if you want to heat it up. Now, once again, look at that cross section. Honestly, this breakfast burrito is so incredibly delicious. is so good. You've got like the creaminess from the sweet potato, you've then got the earthiness from the beans, and then you've got the spices that bring this really lovely flavor. You've got the freshness from the tomato and the avocado and the crunchiness from the kale, and then you've got the tanginess from the red onion. Oh my gosh, it just all works so well together. Okay, so those are 3 of my favorite savory breakfast recipes that just happen to be vegan. If you want to see more recipes like this, please do let me know in the comments below. I've loved cooking with you guys, and if you want to hang out some more, feel free to subscribe so that you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!